I'm not quite for sure where we left off on Friday. I know all of your notes are taped in. I know we talked about this one, but it's worth going over again. So a negative slope, if we remember slope guy, a negative slope goes this way. So if I'm plotting points that have a negative slope, I'm going to go down and to the right. Or if I'm plotting points that have negative slope, I'm going to go up and to the left to make sure that my slope is going in that direction. If it's a positive slope and I have a point, I'm going to go up and to the right, so he goes this way. Or if I'm here, I'm going to go down and to the left to make sure my line is going the right way. I have no idea if we talked about this, so we're just going to do it again. You could fast forward if we already did it. Given a linear equation, graph using B and M. B is the y-intercept, M is the slope. So first thing you need to do is put it in slope-intercept form. I remember talking about this, but that's okay. We'll do it again. Y equals mx plus b. Make sure it's in slope-intercept form. Identify what the slope is. The slope is only your m. The slope does not have an x attached to it. Identify the y-intercept, that is b. That's where it hits the y-axis. Get graph paper. Label your x-axis. Draw and label your y-axis. Determine how you're going to number the units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 100, 200, 300, 400. Figure out how you're going to label it and number it. Please number your axis. There is someone who did not number their axis the other day. Please number your axis. Then graph the y-intercept. Put a dot where your y-intercept is. Then use the slope, down to the right, down to the left, up to the right, up to the left. Finally, use a ruler or a straight edge to connect the points. Do not freehand draw. I know what a freehand draw is. I know the difference. Extend the line to the entire width that you created. Okay, instructions. Represent 1 unit for the interval from -2 to 2 and the y-interval from -2 to 4. So x interval, this is my x-axis. I have drawn it. -1, -2, 1, 2. That's all it's asking me for. The y is -2 to 4. So -1, -2, 1, 2, 3, 4. My equation is in slope-intercept form. My slope is 1. I like to write it as a fraction, so I remember to do 2 directions, up or down, and then right or left. My y-intercept is 2. There's a 1 in front of your x, so you know it's a 1, and then this is your y-intercept. So first, I am going to find my y-intercept, 2. So I'm going to put a dot right there at 2. Now I'm going to go for my slope. It's a positive slope, so I remind myself that it's going to go not like that. My slope guy. It's going to go like that. So I'm going to go up 1 to the right 1, up 1 to the right 1, or down 1 to the left 1, down 1 to the left 1. You only need to have a couple points. I tend to go overboard. It's okay. Then you use your straight edge, and you connect your points all the way through your graph, making sure it is as perfect as you can get it. That is my line. Y equals x plus 2. Alright, let's see here. I'm going to go through and figure out how I'm going to number my grid first. 1 grid square on both axes to represent 1, so I'm going to go by ones. My x interval, I'm going to go to 0 to 4. This is my x-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4. I said interval. That was a mistake. It's axis. Oh, wait, it says interval. Oh, they're telling me how I'm going to do it. Okay. My y from -5 to 0. 0. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Okay, so I've numbered it the way it's told me to number it. I'm going to write my equation they gave me. I'm going to make sure it's in y equals mx plus b form. Y equals mx plus b form, and it is. I need to identify my slope. What is your slope? -1/2. Then I have to identify my y-intercept. What is your y-intercept? -3. So I start by graphing my y-intercept. So on my y-axis, I put a dot on -3. My slope is -1, 2. I remember my slope guy. My slope is going to look like this. So my line's going to be here somehow. So I'm going to go up 1 to the left 2. Up 1 to the left 2, or I could start here and go down 1 to the right 2. I'm going to connect all my dots using my ruler, and I'm trying to be as perfect as I can be. And then I'm going to think about my slope. Is that representing a negative slope? Yeah, because my slope guy, I know that that is a negative line. My y-intercept is -3, so I am good. That line is y equals -1/2 x minus 3. Any point on this line, if I plug in my y-coordinate and my x-coordinate, I will solve it and I will get a true statement where 0 equals 0, 3 equals 3, 4 equals 4. All right, a new kind. Graph a linear equation using slope and a point. Step 1, create a grid to the specific size. Step 2, plot the given point. Step 3, use the slope to find 2 more spots. Step 4, use a ruler or straight edge, connect them, extending the line to the grid. Okay, so graph a line of slope 4 that passes through the point 3, 2. Use 1 grid square on both axes to represent 1 unit for the interval from 0 to 6. So each one is 1. I'm going from 0 to 6 on x and y. So I'll start with my x, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now my y, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't need to do any other numbers. I start with the point that they give me, 3, 2. So 3 is to the right 3, 2 is up 2, and I put my dot. My slope is 4. It's a positive number. It's 4 over 1. I know that a positive slope is going to go like this, because that's my slope guy. So I'm going to go up and to the right, up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, over 1. I can't go up 4 more because I ran out of space, but I can go down and to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, and to the left 1. Now I use my straight edge, make it as perfect as I can, and that is the graph 4, 3, 2, slope of 4. All right, graph a line of slope -2 passes through points 2, 2. Slope equals -2. I want to write that as a fraction, -2 over 1, because I want rise over run, and my point 2, 2. They didn't give me any intervals to do it, so I'm just going to count. It's a negative, so I'm going to make sure I go negatives. Okay, so I'm going to start 2, 2, start at my origin, to the right 2, up 2, do my point. That is 2, 2. Now I'm going to, let's see, I have a negative slope. I'm thinking of what my line's going to look like. So my line's going to go this way. So if I start here, I go down and to the right. So I'm going to go down 2, 1, 2, over 1. On the other hand, if I start here, I go up and to the left. So let's start my 2, 2, up 2, left 1, and it's along the line. Use my straight edge, use your straight edge. If you do not have your ruler when you go home, you just use the edge of a book. You heard somebody say the other day they use the edge of their phone. I don't care. I just don't want to see your phone in class. Urgh. You're very close to losing that privilege, by the way. All right, that is my line that goes through 2, 2 with a slope of -2. Your homework, page 170, it's really small. Page 170, numbers 11 through 15. You will need graph paper. You know where it's located. One more section before the test. Start going over your notes, reading definitions, steps. Try problems in each section of your homework. Check your answers with the answers in the back of the book. I think mostly are odds in the back of the book. Review your stuff. See you tomorrow.